Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is episode 159 of my brand new Comics Haul series, where I show you guys the new books that I pick up at my local comic shop every week. Pretty light week this time around. I only have 4 issues, 2 from Image Comics and 2 from Marvel that I'll start with, as well as a little extra that I'll show at the very end. So let's just get right into it here with probably the biggest release from Marvel Comics this week. It's this big giant-sized one-shot Doom #1. So this isn't ongoing. This isn't an ongoing series like that, like kind of short-lived. I think like 10-issue Doom series that we had about a year or two ago by Christopher Cantwell. This is just a standalone thing that, to my best understanding, is just kind of a character examination, character study for Doom with some really cool artwork. It is written by Jonathan Hickman along with Sanford Green. I think what happened here, my local comic shop owner was explaining to me, is that Sanford Green, the artist who did Bitter Root and a bunch of other stuff, he's like pretty famous these days, with a really cool kind of scrappy style, had this idea for some kind of Doom one-shot that's like this culmination of his entire character and examines maybe like his relationship with Galactus based on the interior artwork here. And then Marvel put Jonathan Hickman on the task since he's got so much history with Doom. Feels a little bit redundant maybe, or like he's beating a dead horse since he like wrapped up his whole many-year Doom story arc with Secret Wars, and now he's just back at Marvel going back to it. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, but it'll be interesting to see what they can do with a one-shot. I'm really liking the artwork in here, actually. I wasn't too sure about Sanford Green in general because I haven't read very much by him, if anything at all, actually. This might be my first issue I've ever read by Sanford Green, but I'm liking what I'm seeing in here. I'll be curious to know how many people actually pick this up. What you guys are thinking of it? What you guys, excuse me, what you guys are thinking of it if you have read it already. It looks like we have Valeria Richards involved here, maybe also. We'll see about this one. I'm really not sure, but it looks like it could be fun. Just a cool one-shot. And Doom is one of my favorite villains for sure, so that'll be a good one to read. Next up from Marvel Comics, the last issue I got from them this week was Miles Morales Spider-Man #20. I'll come clean, I'm really behind on this series. I've been trying to catch up on comics for, I want to say like a month now, and I've built up quite a stack. Miles is one of those characters that I haven't quite gotten around to. I think I might be back on like issue 16 or something, so I'm going to make it my top priority to get caught up on this series by the next time an issue comes out. It looks like this one is a little bit of a filler though, maybe just kind of a more lighthearted thing before we get into the Blood Hunt tie-ins that are supposed to start up next month. We do have the main artist Federico Vicentini in here though. I always like when there's a main series artist that they don't only prioritize having on the book for like big event story arcs or anything huge happening. It's cool to see Federico like just filling in when he can, right? And like to whatever maximum amount he can. But that doesn't mean that he'll like be on the Blood Hunt tie-ins or whatever. In fact, I think there's a guest artist for those. I'm liking the artwork in here. That's been one of the highlights of the series, in my opinion. I think Vicentini's style really does suit Miles's kind of kinetic energy and like the fast-moving pace of this book in general. It sounds like there's been a lot happening. I know there's the anniversary, like 300th issue, number 18, I think that was. So once I get caught up, I'll know more about this. But leading back into Blood Hunt, I think they're bringing back that vampire story arc that we had, like maybe number 12 or something, that wrapped up. So bringing back some old concepts here. It looks like Miles is really starting to expand his supporting cast. We've got Genki. Ms. Marvel looks to be kind of a recurring character at this point as a mutant. We have Shift and a bunch of other characters. So really great ongoing series. I'm liking where they're going with it. That's a big recommendation from me. Next up, moving on to Image Comics though. First off, we got Redcoat. This is number 2 of this series. I'm not sure whether this is a mini-series or an ongoing or some kind of maxi series. They haven't really labeled any of the solicitations with like number 1 of 5 or whatever it might be. My assumption is that they're just going 5 issues with this. This is actually a wraparound cover, which it looks like we're going to be getting for every issue of this series by Brian Hitch, so that's fun. I'm liking Hitch's style in here. They have that same inker that did a lot of his stuff at Marvel recently. I know that's people's biggest complaint about his artwork in general, from his older stuff and like Ultimates and whatever else he's done in between then and now. There was a lot of like huge ink splots because he would do it himself and just like half the page would be blacked out. But this guy Andrew Curry, who's been inking all of his issues for him for a while now, I think is coming in clutch and saving the artwork a little bit. This one, I honestly like barely even remember what happened in the first issue. I did read it, but it's pretty dense. It's just about this character Simon, who became immortal during the American Revolution. He was a redcoat, but now he just kind of travels through history and meets these like historical figures like Einstein. It looks like is going to be playing a pretty big part in the rest of this series, like Einstein as a young boy. And it turns out that a lot of these historical figures have superpowers, which is kind of the idea behind this whole Jeff Johns' The Unnamed universe in general, that this is a part of, that Geiger also ties into, which is coming out right now. I like the concept. I didn't like love the first issue. I feel like this character is a little bit too silly, maybe. He doesn't take himself seriously at all. Sometimes that's a little bit hard to get behind, but we'll see with this one. I'll stick with it for now. Lastly, from Image Comics, the last new issue I picked up from them this week was Spawn, number 353. I'm not too sure about this one. Spawn, I feel like, is just a little bit hard to get excited about these days. It's cool, I guess. I mean, the artwork is the biggest highlight for sure, and the Spawn ongoing, since they've got Brett Booth on this series instead of Gunslinger. They like swap the artist for those two ongoings. This is the only Spawn's Universe thing I'm picking up right now. I tried the new Sam and Twitch series, but that one was a little bit weird also. I do respect Todd McFarlane trying to expand the universe, but I feel like maybe they're not really doing quite enough to entice people to want to invest in just any other superhero universe, right? I feel like the main appeal to Spawn is just cool costumes and cool artwork. So while they do still have that going, I don't think that's quite enough to make people like super invested in all these new characters that they're rolling out series for beyond the interest someone would have in like regular Marvel or DC comics. So maybe they got to switch things up and try some genre changes or something interesting to really rekindle that flame, like how Spawn's Universe was such a big deal with the first few ongoing series they did a couple years ago now. I just haven't really heard as much hype around the newer miniseries that they've been doing. But we'll see about that one. That's Spawn 353. Lastly, like I said, I just got this free little extra from my comic shop. They were handing this one out to pull list customers. This is one of those Image First where they reprint first issues for $1. But this is an older series, I think, from a few years ago. It's called Little Bird, which actually looks really intriguing based on the artwork in here. I hadn't heard anything about this before grabbing this issue, but I guess these same creators who did this series, however long ago it was, are going to be doing a new one that's kind of a sequel follow-up to it, that there's a preview for on the back called Precious Metal. So this actually, it looks really good, at least based on the artwork, so hopefully the writing holds up, but I'll definitely give this a try and see if I like it. Then I'll have to finish off this series and pick up Precious Metal whenever that's going to be coming out, I think within the next couple months. But those were the 5 issues I ended up with this free comic book day. I want to know what you guys got, though. Did you have lighter, heavier weeks than me? It wasn't too many for me this week, but that'll give me a chance, hopefully, to catch up on Miles and some of those other series I'm lacking behind on. Let me know, what you picked up down in the comment section below. That's about it for this week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.